All right, so this is the review for AEW Rampage, February 25th, 2022. It starts off with Andrade versus Sammy Guevara in a TNT title match. They trade moves early and they both try to hit their finishes early as well. Sammy gives Andrade the finger when he is offered a handshake. Sammy then shows off a bit of his athleticism. Sammy hits a Spanish fly and only gets a 1 count. Sammy goes for a springboard and Andrade pushes him off. Onto a commercial break, Andrade hits a suplex on the outside. Andrade is doing the three amigos, but then he gets countered on the third one with by a roll up. You go back into break in. Sammy starts his comeback with lariats and knee strikes. Sammy goes for the finish, and Andrade escapes and misses a knee on the buckle. Sammy goes over the top. Andrade didn't catch him at all. It kind of just looked like Sammy overshot him. Like Andrade tried to catch him, but he kind of just like glanced off his arm.
Kind of just
Like
like Sammy bounced off.
yeah. So Sammy goes for a 450 but misses. Andrade kicks him and then hits a slingshot DDT on the apron, which looked pretty cool. Andrade's on the top rope now, and then Sammy joins him, and then he hits an avalanche Spanish fly for a 2 count. They hit each other in the face now, and then they both just fall. They do the count. They both get up at the same time, and then uh, Andrade is trying to take the pad off of one turnbuckle, and the referee stops that. And then while the referee's back is turned, Matt Hardy takes off the pad from the other end of the turnbuckle, and Andrade hip tosses him into not the exposed turnbuckle, but like the other turnbuckle, like where the one that still had the padding in it. So he hip tosses him into that buckle, and then he misses the knees in the corner again. Sammy goes for the GTH, but Andrade rolls him up for a really ugly looking sequence that they had. Like I think they messed up a bit of their timing there. Um, they teased Andrade going into the exposed turnbuckle a couple times. Um, Sammy hits like a big super kick on him. They are back at the top rope. Andrade goes for his finish on the top rope, and Sammy kind of like dodges and then swipes his leg, and then that causes Andrade to hit his face onto the exposed turnbuckle. And then Sammy hits a double springboard cutter for the win. So Sammy retains 12-21. And then I noted here, why does Sammy still hold two belts? Other than that, I thought it was a pretty fun match. It was a very good opener to start it. It definitely excited the crowd. It had some high spots. Was very interesting. They're playing up. Probably there's going to be some issues between Matt Hardy and Andrade because like you can kind of say that Matt Hardy cost Andrade there by exposing the turnbuckle, and then it kind of backfired on them. But it was a pretty decent match. It was fun. It was fun to watch, which I think is what you want from your opener.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun match overall. I was surprised that they didn't go with this match for the pay per view instead of the trios matches that or the trios match that they're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean overall, yeah, it was fun. They had some pretty good spots, good athleticism. I kind of wish maybe if it was on the pay per view, we would have had like more time and hopefully not a messy interference thing that they were doing with like Matt Hardy or something. Because even the commentary team was arguing, did Matt Hardy push or pull Andrade's leg from the rope?
Yeah,
And
that was the ugly sequence that I was referring to.
yeah,
I didn't mention that. It was a really ugly sequence.
yeah. So I mean, besides that, it was a fun match, but I think it could have been like a little bit more given the two guys involved in it. But yeah, I really don't know what they're going to be doing with the AHFO at this point, just because everyone there is losing pretty regularly now. So
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
they're just waiting for Jeff Hardy to come in.
Basically.
He comes in March. I forgot what day, but
Oh, huh.
Jeff Hardy's already confirmed that he's going to AEW.
Okay.
So has Shane Strickland or Isaiah Swerve Scott in WWE also going to AEW.
I've heard that too.
Okay, so I forgot to mention Matt Hardy attacks from behind, and then Darby and Sting make the save. and Sting hits Isaiah, and Darby hits a coffin drop on him. So that was just like, I guess, the build up to the pay per view. Um, QT Marshall comes out, says he made Hook, not Taz, and then QT threatens to stretch Hook in front of his daddy. I was just like, this is so dumb. And then Hook comes out, and then QT sends his students to attack him, and then Hook beats all of them up, and then Hook just walks away. Like, you needed Hook on the show. That's why they did this.
Basically, no one really cares about QT or his
He's,
students.
he's
It's
like
just for Hook.
Tez better thank QT for for making QT look like a complete and utter dork to make his son look like a baller. Like man, QT just is such a big dork.
Yeah.
Uh, Dan Lambert's like he will get Scorpio Sky his title match. All right, so next up, Wardlow versus Nick Camarado. Camarado gut wrenches Wardlow, but Wardlow doesn't kip up, which sends the crowd into a frenzy. Wardlow throws Camarado around. Wardlow suplexes Camarado over the top rope. They go into commercial break, and then basically during the break, Camarado gains control and gets the heat back onto himself. They come back from break, and Camarado picks up Wardlow with one hand before Wardlow escapes and then choke slams him. And then he power bombs Camarado, and then they start playing up to the symphony. And then he hits three more power bombs for a total of four, and then Wardlow gets the win at 6:29. And then after the match, Solo tries to jump Wardlow. Spear sees it and he kind of looks away. And then Wardlow catches Solo, and then he goes for a power bomb. But as he's about to powerbomb Solo, Spears hits Solo with the steel chair, and he also hits Wardlow in the hands. And then Wardlow's infuriated. He's just like, "You just hit me like in the hands with the steel chair. Like, what the hell?" And Spears grabs the mic, and he's just like, "Listen, Wardlow, that powerbomb symphony, it's not getting over." Just like, oh my god. And he's just like, Wardlow, just go for the win, bro. Like, no more power bombs. Just go for the win. It's not getting over. But like he stressed, no more power bombs, and that got really loud boos. And then Spears hugs Wardlow, and Wardlow looks so pissed and disgusted. That was I enjoyed the aftermath of the match than I did the match itself.
Yeah, the stuff with Spears was the best part. It wasn't. The match itself was another squash match that lasted a little bit longer than it probably should have because no one really cares about what the factory's doing anymore. And there aren't any plans for Camarado, like, at all from any recent booking. So, yeah, it's really just what's going on with Wardlow and his future face turn, and just seeing what funny stuff Spears can say.
It's dude, I love their dynamic. It's really funny.
Yeah, it was great.
So good. All right, next up, Serena Deeb 5 minute challenge. The only thing of note I put on here is that she does like a spider stretch on the ropes, which was a little bit unique. Serena Deeb wins in 2:30. Dude, I don't care.
You roped
I'm
them more
sorry.
than I did. So,
Like, like I know there are some people that like this Serena Deeb 5 minute challenge because like they think it could build to a possible good story. I just don't care. I'm sorry. I really don't. Like, whatever. All
yeah,
right,
it's
next.
whatever.
Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker contract signing. Um, Thunder Rosa has just like one quick line. It's like, let's give the people what they want. They want a better champion. And then calls Britt Baker a bitch in Spanish. Um, then Britt Baker is just like, the only time that Thunder Rosa is relevant is when she's paired with Britt Baker. And then Britt says that Thunder Rosa will never be the face of the AEW women's division. And then the fans were booing Baker a bit. Um, but Britt Baker basically said that Thunder Rosa is jealous of her and her success, and that even like yeah, just that she's jealous that she will never be the face of the AEW Women's Division. This basically kind of mirrored what Chris Jericho did on Dynamite with Kingston, where Jericho was just like, "You're jealous of my successes," and then this is literally what Britt Baker's saying. It's just like, Thunder Rosa, you're jealous of my successes. Like, okay, like I thought they were just like kind of very. I wouldn't say carbon copies, but they were very similar to each other. Um, and then this is like I put here that fans were booing Britt Baker a bit, but the moment that Britt Baker started her DMD thing, like the crowd was so loud chanting with her DMD. And I was just like, I don't understand it. Like what's like do they want Britt Baker to be a heel? Do they want her to be a face? Like they clearly want her to be a heel, but like the crowd wants to like do that DMD thing. Like the crowd is kind of cheering her almost like she's a face. But like I don't get what they want to I don't know how they're supposed to proceed with that because like it just doesn't as a heel, you're never supposed to be getting cheered. Like, and Britt Baker is getting cheered. Like they're doing like the DMD sing along. I don't know. It's so confusing for me to in that kind of aspect. Um, Thunder Rosa attacks Britt Baker, and then Jamie Hayter saves her. Martinez comes out, and they put Jamie Hayter through the table. And then I don't personally like this, but Thunder Rosa was holding the title. Normally, when someone holds the title like that, usually means that they lose. So who knows? Maybe Thunder Rosa does lose at the pay per view just because like she held the title for a pretty long time. So like I don't know.
Yeah,
Wasn't too fond of this contract signing.
I
Let's just say that.
I wasn't really interested, which was surprising considering Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. But yeah, I just what they were saying to each other sounded pretty generic. And then like the after signing fight they had didn't really do anything new. Really, I guess maybe with Mercedes Martinez showing up and helping out, but besides that one spot, I don't think this really just added anything to the feud going into the pay per view. But yeah, wasn't very interested.
Yeah. All right, next. Anthony Bowens versus Orange Cassidy for Face of the Revolution qualifier. Um, the only fun line that Max Caster said in his rap was that the best friends aren't friends with any black people. And that's very true. They are not. Well, actually, does Rocky Romero count?
I don't know his
Well, Rocky
racial
Romero is
backup.
Cuban,
Uh, I wouldn't
but like
know.
Rocky Romero is also a part of Chaos. He's not technically a part of the best
Oh
friends.
yeah, he's not. So then no.
But okay. The rap wasn't as good as it normally is. I was kind of disappointed in that. I always look forward to his raps.
Yeah, it was surprising that
So
it felt
then,
pretty tame.
yeah, they give the mic to OC, and then OC just goes, "Yo," and then he puts the mic towards the knees and does like his gimmick where he does like those like super kicks that don't actually hurt because they're just like little baby kicks. And I think it was it Wheeler Yuta pulls Caster out and then decks Caster, and then I think Bowens goes for a clothesline and he kind of just like tosses Bowens out. And then Orange Cassidy just says on the mic, "Word to your mother." And then that got the crowd going. I was just like, I kind of figured that's what he was gonna say too. And then he does a tope onto Bowens. And Max Caster wakes up from getting taken out, turns Yuta around, and then decks him with a chain. And then Bowens has Orange Cassidy in the electric chair and then drops him on the apron, and they go into commercial break. And then Bowens is just getting heat on Orange Cassidy. Back from the break in, Orange Cassidy makes his comeback. He does a high crossbody, but Bowens regains control before he gets hit by a huge stun dog millionaire. Bowens catches Orange Cassidy and spins him around before hitting a face buster. Big knee to the face for a 2 count. Orange Cassidy hits a Michinoku driver. Caster distracts Cassidy, and Bowens goes for his DDT finish. I don't know what they named it. Do you remember? They had a name for it. I forgot, but it's like he's on the ropes and he kind of like it almost looked like Velveteen Dreams like standing DDT, but like this one is like assisted with the ropes.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot the name.
And so they trade shots on the ropes before Cassidy tosses Bowens out. There's a huge dive onto the acclaimed, uh, then a huge diving DDT onto Bowens, and then a swinging DDT next for a close two count. Bowens gets rolled up and then turns into a big lariat. Bowens hits his old finisher. The I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't look as impactful as the DDT, to be honest. But so Bowen hits his old finisher, and then Cassidy goes outside, and then Danhausen, who was dressed as like a cameraman of some sort, comes out, and then he curses Max Caster, and then Cassidy hits a Superman punch on Caster, throws in Bow or goes back into the ring, then hits a Superman punch on Bowens for the win, and have 10-12 was the time for that. It was a match.
It
It
was
was a decent match.
fine, yeah, overall. Again, surprised this was the main event, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, was
TNT
anything
title
bad?
match was the best match, I think. This was okay.
Yeah, nothing necessarily like bad about it. The only thing I'll say is like, yeah, obvious winner, but not bad.
Orange Cassidy isn't a big hoss either.
Yeah, I. It's going to be
So
interesting what he does during the ladder match.
who's that on the as like the people fighting? It's Wardlow, Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs, Orange
Starks.
Cassidy, and Ricky Starks, and then we're missing one, right?
Yeah, we still need one more.
So that one is that like are they doing qualifier next week or?
I think so, but I don't think they announced which two are fighting for the last spot yet. But
Mhm.
yeah, we have to get one more qualifier match.
Okay, well, I would have been more excited if it ended up being a big hoss type of match. I wonder if they're just gonna put like a high flyer in there at the end,
Probably
since they
like
kind of like threw it out. Unless they're just gonna do another like technical person.
at this point, if it's not going to be all Haas, they might as well just throw in one more like high flyer or one high flyer and
Yeah,
just for some spots.
yeah. I mean, all right. So I mean, this week was all right. I'm not sure how it's gonna do. I don't know. I haven't enjoyed the shows as much as like previously.
Yeah, this one felt
Um,
pretty mid. The only match I was like had felt like a normal amount of investment in was Sammy versus Andrade. The rest
yep.
just kind of like blended together, but it wasn't anything bad, but just not very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the review for AEW Rampage on Friday.
Tune in next week for next week's Rampage episode, which will be the last one before Revolution, right?
Yep, should be. Uh,
The go
yeah,
home show.
the go home show. Yeah.
The goal.
Revolution is on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
No, it's on Sunday. It's on Sunday.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, tune in next week and
Yeah.
hear more.
See you guys next week.